my name is Megan. Welcome to my kitchen. I live in Denver, Colorado, and I have been a resident here since July of 2019. Prior to that, I was living in Boulder, and it was just time to make the move, and we found the house of our dreams. So my husband and I purchased a historic home. This home is from 1902, and it's been completely remodeled, and he's a chef and I'm an avid home cook. This is our perfect kitchen. So everything's great. We move in. One thing we like is this fridge. So we have a water filtration system on our fridge, and we've never had one before, and it's quite nice. You just get your water from your fridge, filter it, it's great. So that's what we did. From the moment we moved in, drinking water always came from the fridge, and everything else from our kitchen sink, which seems logical. In about March or April of 2020, we were notified by the city that we have lead in our water. So the city of Denver has a lead problem. We have lead in our water, and it's from the service lines, because in general, in Colorado, we have very good water. Unfortunately, a house like ours, built in 1902, no one has replaced the service line in front of the house, means that we have lead in our water. If you are concerned that you have lead in your water and you are in Denver, they will give you a test that you can do to check. We did the test, and it turns out that our levels of lead are about twice the highest level of safe level of lead in water. So we can't drink our tap water. But the city has issued Britas. So everyone got hand-delivered one of these Brita filter pitchers. And it comes with replacement filter. It's called the Long Last filter, and the Long Last does filter out lead. One of the things that I learned when we used up our first filter, because we use a lot of water, was that you can't find these everywhere, and not every Brita cartridge filters lead. So I had to drive to Longmont, which was the nearest Home Depot that had one here close to the Denver area. And but then we got another one in the mail. So they're going to be sending them every 6 months. We have to be diligent, because whatever you cook. So simple things like making coffee or tea, filtered water should be used. Water that you're using for rice, pasta, potatoes, that should be filtered. And you know, I really have the ability to use my fridge. I'm not going to pretend that I can't get like a big thing under there and fill it with water and put it on the stove. But I was thinking about it, and not everyone has the luxury of having a fridge with another filter on it. So there are many people who have to fill this, let it filter through, pour it out, fill it, let it filter through, pour it out into the pot that you're using. And sometimes it can be laborious, and you have to plan that. So in the past, you're like, hey, let's just boil some pasta, and you fill up your pot, you boil it, throw it in the pot. Now it might take 20 minutes to fill your pot, because you have to filter the water, and it only does about 2 cups at a time. So it's inconvenient, but it's not the end of the world. I'm super happy that Denver sent these to people. The other thing that Denver is doing is they will be systematically going through neighborhood by neighborhood and replacing those service lines. Now, they have a map that shows where these service lines are projected to be replaced each year. And this plan is a 10 to 15 year plan. So that's a long time to filter your water through a pitcher. My first thought was installing an under the sink water filtration system. And honestly, I just don't want to drill another hole in my counter. So what I've decided to do is just stick with this for a bit. I kind of got my hopes up over the summer. About July or August of this summer, there was some guy out front working on my water meters. I popped out there, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And we started talking about the replacement of the service lines, and he's like, you know, we are moving through this quickly. We have 4 or 5 private companies. They're just doing them neighborhood by neighborhood. He's like, I bet that you're going to be done next year. So I was like, all right, I'll wait 6 months. Well, we're not on the map for 2021. We're in the West Colfax neighborhood. West Colfax is not being done in 2021. And in addition, once they replace your service line, the suggestion right now is that you continue to use this for another 6 months before you're cleared to just use what comes out of your tap. So what I've decided to do is to create a little video series where I'm going to show you some of the things that I do in my kitchen in relation to cooking with water that I've filtered out, hopefully filtered out the lead. It's something that just dawned on me recently. I was cooking and I was doing one of these, I think I was making pasta, or I was making something where I had to use a lot of water, and it was taking quite some time, and I thought, man, this sucks. And then I was like, you know, I'm not the only one going through this right now, and why don't I create something, just put it out there to show what life is like when your water has lead in it. So please don't drink lead water. You definitely don't want to have that accumulating in your system. I certainly don't. So I will be using this, and things that I learned about lead along the way, anything like that that's interesting, I'll contribute in some of these little videos. So please join me on this journey, and maybe I'll make something that you want to repeat at home. That would be pretty cool. If you have friends who might benefit from watching this, I appreciate you sharing my info with them. And thanks for tuning in.